Boom, and we're live. What's going on, you guys? Back at it, man. I got a fucking special guest, man. This man that I found on YouTube that I think is killing it out here on Illuvium content and stuff, and I wanted to bring it out here. This guy, literally, all he does is Illuvium, right? And the man, the myth, the legend, Vetemor. What's going on, brother?
Hey, bro. That intro was fucking hype.
No, dude, I had to do it, man. But yeah, I always that's why I kind of had to chill off at the end there with disclaimers and all that stuff right there.
I love it.
Bring them down a little bit, right?
But I mean, before we get fully into this, I do also want to say on top of those disclaimers, we're going to be saying a lot of things in this video. None of this is for you to imitate anything we've done or talk about.
Right.
We're just saying things that we've done. That doesn't mean they're a good idea, you know?
Right.
You got to make your own decisions.
Correct. Though, saying that, I think it's pretty degenerate into Illuvium. I'll say that much. I've said this already publicly already. I think I have. Let me see. Have I? I think to my classes I have, but not in public. But I put some undisclosed six-figure amount into Illuvium. Just to let you guys know, that's how.
What?
Yeah. Mostly all in the sushi LP pool and stuff, but now my rewards are actually earning me. So it's what I love about Illuvium is you're getting yield on yield, which is amazing. You know, it's nice out here. You know, it's pretty nice. When I got into it, I mean, I don't know, because Vetemor, you were in it before I was, but do you know how high? Because if I remember right, the pools came out in March, if I remember right. I think was it March of this year for the sushi LP pools.
I think so. I actually I can't give you a precise answer on that, but I think it is March-ish.
Right, because when I got into Illuvium, basically, because what I did is right before I showed my students it and stuff, I wanted to show them what kind of rewards I could get. So I threw in that six-figure sum and boom. And literally 6 days later, I showed them. And then I think it was my rewards were 15 Illuvium in 6 days. Literally. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, wow. Okay. So I was like, damn, that's pretty nice, right? So I got pretty hyped on that. But this is when Illuvium was I think $480. It was before.
That's pretty much when I got in as well, to be honest.
Okay, got it. Because I knew about I didn't hear about Illuvium until about I don't know how I heard about Illuvium. When was it? It must have been something. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, I was a part of the synthetics community. So Kane Warwick's brothers are the ones running. So that's how I found out about Illuvium and stuff. Is basically just through Kane Warwick, and I saw him doing something. Hey, there's a pool right now. You can earn money on your synthetics and earn some Illuvium. And I was like, oh, got it. Okay, cool. And I kind of like, I got a little lazy about it because I was doing some other stuff in real life, and then by the time I looked, the pool was done already. The rewards were spent already. I was like, oh shit. And then I got into Illuvium and I started researching around, and then I decided just to start aping. And then I found this man right here, Vetemor, which is pretty FOMO inducing, if I can say that,
Thank you. Yeah. Wait, so you literally invested because you saw my videos?
Well,
no.
I got in because I saw the yield. I saw Kane
the yield's insane.
The yield's insane. Kane Warwick. I looked into the product myself. I saw that the game. Oh, they're trying to build basically an Unreal Engine 3 AAA rated game version of Axi Infinity. Basically, they're trying to make their own Pokemon game. And I mean, I'll say a full disclaimer: the only thing that could probably hurt Illuvium and Axis at some point is if Pokemon ever came into the space. But I don't see them coming in until something like 26, 27. Honestly, it's like they're so slow to come. Like they botched. Honestly, I remember there was this magical time. I don't know if you remember this, but remember when Pokemon Go came out, right? You remember when Pokemon Go? It caught that fire I had as a kid. Like it was amazing. It was like everyone I remember being outside in any town in anywhere in America or anywhere around the world. There's people outside just randomly walking, and then you're like, Pokemon, yeah. and they botched it because so they're really scared of losing their console money in terms of the revenue from the console money. And they also didn't like that obviously Apple took about 30% of the payments from them as well, so they didn't really like that. So they bastardized the game. So in the beginning, what they should have done in the beginning of Pokemon Go is that what they should have did is they should have had collect your Pokemon, level them up. Then eventually, hey, you can battle your Pokemon and the next upgrade. Or, hey, in 4 months, you guys, or in 6 months, we're going to do the Johto League, the Pokemon battle. We're going to allow you to fight with your Pokemon. Holy shit. And then they could have put, something like $50 million reward, just not be, cheap about it. And that game, I mean, it would have took Pokemon to, some stratosphere or something. But, of course...
the thing with that is because you don't have ownership over those Pokemon, and they're not actually making enough money from it to almost have a reason to give you that much of a reward, which is why crypto gaming has the potential it has, because of how much revenue is generated that they can then offer what for them is chump change, but is actually billions, in prize pool money. Illuvium's got something based on the current price, over $800 million dedicated to in-game rewards from
it's kind of insane, dude. But I guess so everyone gets to know you, man. Damn, bro, how'd you get started? How'd you get started in crypto, dude? Or how did you get started in all this stuff? This is kind of insane because when I found you, you were just like Illuvium, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, damn, okay.
I mean, it all started. You remember the China FUD and Elon Musk tweet and all that stuff? And
yeah.
When was that? Was that 4 months ago? Time's passed really fast.
April, May, somewhere in there.
April, May, and then it dropped. And then my wife, a guy she was working with, he was really big into crypto, and he was telling everyone that he was working with, guys, you need to buy some crypto now. This is the dip. This is the time to get in. So she bought a little bit, a few £100, and she told me about it. I bought a few £100, got interested, and then I'm the kind of guy, I'll just ape in for a little bit, and then because I've got a skin in the game now, I'm just gonna do hard research. So I probably spent 3 to 6 hours a day, let's say, most days, just researching crypto, getting hard into just understanding Bitcoin, understanding Ethereum. I didn't really get DeFi until I met Axi Infinity and got a bit deeper into that world. But at first it was just sort of Glassnode and like getting into the like philosophy of it, and like Willy Woo, Will Clemente,
I like
Invest
Will.
Answers.
Yeah.
Invest Answers is also like quite good. And then getting into like the philosophy of it, the deeper you go, it's like it's pretty insane. I forget what that guy's like Robert Breedlove.
Mm.
He's very good as well. I read a book he recommended called like The Sovereign Individual.
Yep.
That book is
That's
written
yeah.
the year that I was born, and that book basically predicts crypto. So that book was insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy too. There's also a book called Snowpiercer as well, where a lot of stuff, a lot of crypto terminology actually comes from and stuff, which is pretty insane as well. Because I
I've not
think
read that one.
Snowpiercer, I think was the first ever. I think it was the first ever reference of cryptocurrency or some sort of crypto. It was kind of crazy. Like a lot of crypto stuff, like even the Citadel stuff, is kind of jacked from that book, basically, because that book came out and they like they mentioned they're trading some sort of like digital currency or something. It's pretty insane book and stuff. But no, dude, that's really cool, man. I mean, it's man, there's so much to talk about, man, when it comes to Illuvium. Like I like the just the tokenomics of Illuvium, the way they've done it, like, because, like, I mean, like I said earlier, like I found out about Illuvium through basically Kane Warwick, through synthetics, through the pool there, and then as soon as I got into it, as soon as I'm sold, I want to invest into it, but then I wanted to learn more and stuff, so I go into the Discord group, and which you can find right here in the description and stuff, but I searched through there and stuff, but there wasn't really someone really distilling it down and stuff. I was reading a lot of documents and stuff, but it was like still like, it's a lot. Like if you look, because this is the one thing I don't like about Discords, is sometimes it can be a little bit of a clusterfuck. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's a lot of pages. So for especially like, and I've been around crypto since like 2016. So I'm used to Discord and I'm used to telegrams and stuff like that. But Discord is still pretty much like,
especially if you're like coming into it as a new person, it's like,
yeah,
what the hell's going on? Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
it's a bit of a crazy Wild West, basically. But then I started looking around for YouTubers, and then I found my man, the myth, the legend, Vetemor. And dude, actually, your name, like you're telling me in the back, in the green room, we were talking in the green room, and you're telling me how you fucking came up with your fucking name, dude. I cannot. That's the most nerdiest. I mean, I love. I wish I could. I should have do the same shit. That's amazing, dude. Can you tell your story on it?
You should, man. You should. Like, you never know what you're gonna come up with if you do that. But what I did was, obviously, I was a big Harry Potter nerd, and then in like, I think it's episode 2, you get like Voldemort revealing that his name is actually like Tom Marvolo Riddle, but like he just like flips the letters around. So then, obviously, as a like 14-year-old or 13-year-old, might have even been younger, I wrote down my 3 names on a piece of paper and I just rearranged the letters, and I got like 3 full names out of it. And Vetemor was the first name, and the other 2 were kind of shit. They weren't that good, to be honest. But then Vetemor just stuck with me, and I think it's quite a cool name, and it's like kind of just original because it's literally just made by rearranging letters from my 3 names.
So you like your first, your middle, and your last, sort of like something like that, basically.
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
It contains pieces of those names. Yeah.
Yeah, I am Voldemort. That's hella funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no. I'm a big Harry Potter nerd. Shout out all the I'm Ravenclaw. What's going on? But shout out to all the nerds out there. But like, no, it's really cool. Like I got I just came back from Orlando Studios and stuff, and I went out there to the Hogwarts Hogmeade and stuff. It's pretty sick. I mean,
we still need to go because we've got in London. Well, it's not in London; it's in Watford. But we've got the Warner Brothers studio here as well, where it was actually filmed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty close by. My friend, he used to live really close to it, and he had like 10 gigabytes per second internet just because that entire area's cables were just maxed out to the max just for Warner Brothers studio.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, I have a bit of a meme on my channel where I like there's like a picture of me from like a long time ago where I am holding the Elder Wand and I'm saying Wingardium Leviosa because I'm trying to lift the fucking prices up. That's so funny. No, but that's really cool, man. But Damn, dude. I mean, that's pretty insane. We can get it. We can sort of get into we can take this conversation pretty much any direction you want. Is there a certain
I
direction
mean,
you want?
let's go a little bit back to where we were with like my story, like in
Yeah.
crypto.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
after like 2.5 months of getting into crypto, what I then found out about was Axi Infinity, and it was just like it was going hype, it was going crazy,
Yeah.
and like I got in pretty much at the top of Axi prices.
Oh no.
And I didn't go all in or anything, but like
Yeah.
I put a reasonable amount in. I also didn't mention that after like doing a bunch of research, like I went in pretty heavily with like all my savings. I'm like basically all in on crypto to some extent at the moment, basically.
As you should be, man. As you should be.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like as far as I can tell, like cash is a shit coin, you know?
Yeah,
So...
it's a shit coin. Definitely is a shit coin.
And then when I got into Axie, like I played Axie for about a month. I ended up in the last week actually getting a scholar that was a 14-year-old kid who's like a friend of mine. He's like a good friend of mine's like little brother. And I was like, yo, you want to make some money? and he was like, yo, this is way more than my pocket money. I saved up for 1.5 years to get a £600 gaming PC. With this game, I can be making that in 3 months. Like, why not? But then a week in, so I learned a lot from getting into Axie Infinity. I also lost money because at that point, I was like to him, yo, bro, like, because one of their YouTubers, the Axie YouTubers, he's not actually a Axie YouTuber. He was actually just a general crypto gaming YouTuber. And he shared about Illuvium. And I kind of checked it out. I looked around a little bit. I put 2 ILV into the like ILV pool because I was like, yo, that SLP pool, that's too crazy. You know, that's too crazy. Then I did a bit of research. I got into the Discord. I spent about a week in the Discord just asking questions and reading. And then after about a week in there, I was like, yo, bro, like, I'm going to sell all of those Axies you've got. And I promise you, when this Illuvium game comes out, I'll give you like $1,000, $2,000 just of like SLV just to play in the game. Like, we'll do it that way. And like, you can pay me back in ages, but then you can just keep it all. Like make something for yourself, you know? But like, so I pulled everything out of Axie, ended up selling a large majority of my crypto. Over the course of like the next week, I slowly just went all into SLP over like 4 investments.
I mean,
as
hey,
you do.
You risk it, you get the biscuit. You know what I mean?
What I found is that the more I research it, the deeper you get. Instead of like finding shit, like you're just constantly expecting to find shit because it's crypto. There's gonna be some kind of a reason why this new project is actually bogus. And the deeper I got, the more I was like, bro, this is like on every level, all the incentives, everyone in this that's involved in this project, whether they're at the top or at the bottom, everyone's incentive is to make this better for everyone else. That makes it better for them. So the incentive structures are just like so deeply entwined in the whole system that it's insane.
So I put this coin in a category of income tokens. That's what I don't know what
it's like a dividend. It's like a dividend stock in a way.
Yeah, it's like the first ever one I ever found in this category was something called Vesper, VSP. It's basically a decentralized version of Celsius. That's what they're trying to do. It's built by like the who is it? He's like the second ever developer on Bitcoin, basically. And Sir, he's like some guy that's literally from the UK, knighted from the Queen and stuff. Dude's super fucking rich, super Bitcoin rich. And he started this project, and he's basically making a decentralized version with the DAO and stuff. The DAO kind of runs it, and like the money generated from the token. If you have it staked in the pool, you earn income from all the other. So they have like 25 pools that they're earning money on, and then they give you 85% of the money. They keep 15. That 15% gets used to buy the Vesper token, and the Vesper token then gets paid out to people who hold the Vesper token staked in the pool. That's how it works. And I was like, wow, that was really that's the first project ever, and that came out like pretty much like early this year, basically. And I was like, wow, this is such a cool token. And that's what attracted me to actually Illuvium, because I saw that as an evolution of even Vesper. Because like I was just like blown back of how like advanced that was itself. Because like the one problem with like a Vesper token is this inflation comes out, like it has a massive amount of inflation. All the coins are out in February of next year, so they're done. It's all 10 million tokens are out, and then that's kind of when I expect. So I bought a certain amount of Vesper, staked it, and just like put my key, threw it in the fucking closet, and fucking like walked away. I don't even give a fuck what the price is doing. That's it. And but then I looked into Vesper. I mean, not Vesper, into Illuvium, and I was like, whoa! I saw the same thing again, but more advanced. Like, but their locking mechanism for their tokens, the weight weighting and everything like that. I was blown back by it, like how insane it was. And obviously, I looked, obviously it was like, of course, it's Kane Warwick. Kane Warwick's fucking like a super OG in crypto and stuff. Very wealthy. His parents were pretty. I think his father was like a famous tennis player. If I remember, his mom and dad were famous tennis players. And then his, of course, then the apple doesn't fall from the tree and stuff. And his brothers are pretty amazing as well. So it's kind of
really good that they have him in their family, because he's definitely helped them a lot with the way that their tokenomics works. Like and apparently Aaron as well is just an absolute genius.
Yeah.
And he's come up with a lot of this stuff himself, because he just really cares about incentives and like systems thinking and like really methodical, like behind the scenes, like programming of the way things, like the concepts essentially.
It's like what they're doing is they're using behavioral economics and incentives to structure it. It's almost like instead of like, because like that's what the tax code is used for technically. So if you, at least here, I don't know how it works in I don't know how it works in the UK, but in the States, basically they have a lot of tax. I mean, you basically can like reduce a lot of your taxes by investing into real estate or investing into things they want you to put your money into. So by like, hey, you don't have it, you can get taxed 40% of your money, or you can get taxed 15% if you throw it into some real estate. Do whatever you want, bros. And then naturally money goes into that, right? Or like they have like huge taxes. Like there's people who invest into like Section 8 housing, which is like low income housing, and they get a bunch of tax write-offs basically because they're spending money building low income housing, right? Which some people don't want to do because there's not as much profit in that, I'm guessing, right? And just things like that, basically. So,
but they're subsidizing things essentially.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. But I think that's the correct. I honestly, in the future, I think that's the correct way to actually go through things. Like we should be using the tax code to push people towards sort of things that are good for the economy overall that people typically wouldn't do because everyone just goes to the highest yield ever. That's what happens. The money goes to where
I actually disagree with you here on this point.
Okay. But all right, so let me finish my point, and then you rebuttal me on that. But like, what I mean is like, typically, if people know where like the highest yield they can get is like, so people. I mean, there is personalities where they want safety, and they want to earn just like this, right? But most people out here, they're trying to if they're in a risky space, they're just trying to make as much risky money as fast as possible. Like, and I know this through experience that. You tell a person like, hey, bro, there's this project. I think it's only going to survive for about a year, but you can earn about I don't know 1,000 APY for that year. Or this project is going to be around for 20 years, but like the APY is only 10%. Most of them will just ape it all into that. Like, no, Miguel, so I have my money over here, but then I'm dollar cost averaging to the other project. It's kind of stuff like that. But yeah,
I mean, I agree with your second point, but the bit where you were saying about like government should incentivize certain behaviors through the tax structures and things like that, I completely disagree with that, because I think that's taking away the free market. I think there should be no such thing as subsidy, because it's ultimately market manipulation. The reason why people look at crypto markets and they're like, yo, this shit's fucking volatile. This shit's crazy. This isn't the way real life works. This is an anomaly.
Right.
When in fact, this is real life. Crypto is real life. Crypto is what a free market economy actually would look like. Obviously, it would look a bit more stable if it was later on and stabilized somewhat, but it's never going to look like the normal financial markets because they're constantly subsidized. Money's being printed just to keep number going up at a rate that's acceptable to like big boys. It's all like essentially the market is manipulated and controlled, and there isn't complete free market taking place. And the ultimate end of crypto is to have a fully free market economy where there would be no government influence on well,
Right.
taxes done very differently. Like,
Right. No, and I think you're correct, but there's this whole thing where like, okay, so okay. Let me just preface with saying I fucking believe in I want a free market, and that's true. But there's something called like the tragedy of the commons, where like if you don't incentivize certain things, people won't do it just because there's no really big incentive for its structure. Like let's just say if I owned 80%, if I owned 80% of the land. And so this isn't the best example, but it's just to kind of show what I'm trying to come across. Like if I owned a large portion of a coin, right? I could afford to sell off 5% of my coin to double the value of it, which would increase my value substantially, right? And provide marketing and actually increase the price of Illuvium or whatever token I own that much of the power of it. But if everybody if let's just say there's a bunch of dudes that just own 1%, 1%, 1%. Generally, you do get people getting together, but a lot of the times, if the structure doesn't happen correctly in terms of like the community banding together, there's not enough of an incentive for like some guy to throw in 20% of his stack. Everyone throws in 20% of the stack, and they're just like, I don't know, it's sort of this thing where like it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But like you generally like I think it's a mixture. I think you should have mostly a free market, but you do need a couple little things here and there to push some stuff around, just because people are assholes and they don't want to do stuff.
I still definitely believe that there should be government. I just believe that the role of government. So at the moment, I believe that the relationship between government and citizens is that government treats its citizens as if we are the government's assets.
No, definitely.
We earn the government yield essentially,
Yeah,
and we're not customers. They're not catering to customers. I
right.
believe governments should be private organizations that could do the same job as government, but actually do it way better and actually way cheaper. Because currently they are essentially a monopoly on violence. The job that they're fulfilling, they're doing it in the most bureaucratic and the least efficient way possible, and
Yeah,
their incentive structures within their overarching structure isn't for better improved like efficiency and better service to its customers, but better extraction of its
right.
assets, which is us.
Right, but like actually, this is a good point because I was going to bring this up. You can't say not to give tax incentives when crypto staking itself is an incentives as well. It is. So there is this whole thing where like they're paying like most cryptocurrency. I mean, I don't know how do we get into this conversation, but okay, whatever.
Deep,
most cryptocurrencies are paying this with inflation. Even Illuvium is. I mean, it is mostly inflation as of right now. Then demand picks up. Once the demand picks up, then we get paid. The APYs will go down because all the coins are out, and then it's really just based off of what the coin does, actually like earning interest in the market. Basically, that's what these tokens are in a way. They're startups, but that's the incentive structure because like, hey, let me give you a bunch of these coins. It's a very thin line between when you're at a farm token to an actual real project, giving incentives to start off your community. It's a very blurry line, right? Like it's a gray line because like a lot of projects give too much and they're farm tokens like Geist. There's a project that launched on Phantom that's called Geist, which is like a fork of what is it, Aave. And the first day they came out, 100,000% APY. 100,000% APY, yeah. Which means if you let's just say I put not $1 million, but let's just say I put like $50,000 in there in Geist, mind it, I would get my 50,000 back in one day. Yeah,
probably a lot more even.
yeah, a lot more even. But like that's kind of how the math works out. It might be a little bit more. But so that's what I'm talking about. Where like you if you're not careful with like the incentives and stuff. This is what I think the larger thing that I was trying to talk about incentives. If you're not careful with the incentives, you'll end up making yourself into kind of like a farm token or a rug token, basically, where you're just like as soon as the rewards go down. This is what happened to like a platform like I call Avalanche, where their entire incentive structure. This is why I didn't really invest too much into Avalanche, and I'm not very mad at it. I didn't. Is that almost every project on there was a farm token, it was a rug token farm, basically, where someone like a Phantom and then future projects on I'd say Pulse Chain, which is like a hex ecosystem. The hex token is making its own ecosystem, which is called Pulse Chain. And Pulse Chain is going to be more longer term projects, and a couple of there's always meme projects, always, like even on Phantom and Ethereum and everything like that. But it's more of a longer term sort of thing where, like, I say Axis, and then even some stuff on Luna has really become more like rug tokens and stuff, in terms of just like they're just there for the yield, and they bounce, basically. It's not really long term. That makes sense.
Are you saying that the governments around the world should employ Illuvium to do some of their incentive structures?
I think so, dude. Like, because like I was blown back by, like, this is some pretty revolutionary shit how they're doing it. I obviously we talked a little in the background when you were saying that these things are still not set in stone. They can change, which like kind of fucked my head up. I'm like, no, because I was actually pretty happy with it. Like, it was like, oh, cool. The team's tokens come out in March. Cool. It's I think it was like 7,000 or 5,000 every day or something for like a year, and then I think after that it's like 1,200 ish for the next 2 years, and then it's all out basically at that point. And I'm kind of hoping a lot of them claim it in SLV. I know the team won't, but I know a lot of normal, because like obviously some of the team is going to take profits on SLV sometime in March, or if that ends up passing, and then that tokens will recirculate to the community, and then some people are want to buy land, and then that gets rid of a bunch of supply. But like as of right now, like even because they're going to come out with a mobile game, which is like the land game, right? Because I think we were having a little bit of confusion in the back of the green room. We were talking about that, which is like there's land coming out, but as of right now, if people are claiming no, that's right. No, I'm sorry, that was wrong. So people could claim rewards from the sushi pool right now in SILV, and that gets rid of a ton of Illuvium total supply, which is pretty cool, I think. So I mean,
we've covered at least like 4 points that I really want to get into.
Let's get into it. It's hard to stop, because I want to get to like that final point right there. But like, man, like this game has got so much stuff that's coming out, and it's interesting. Just off of the incentive structures alone, this game interested me so much. I haven't even played the game's not even out yet, and I'm like fucking like raving about it, basically. How well thought out it is.
Same here. Yeah. But one of the first things that you did say was that but all this stuff can actually change and all this kind of thing. Yeah. But it's actually this is one of the best things about Illuvium. So early on, originally, all those original like team token, early bird tokens, all of those tokens, they actually, the moment that yield distribution started, they were supposed to be earning yield as well. But right now, only the public tokens are earning yield until those tokens unlock and they choose to stake them. Then they get yield. So what happened was someone did the math, right, and actually said like, oh, wait a minute, like the team and all of the like early investors, they're basically going to take like all the yield because they're going to get in early. So they put it up to a vote, and then they changed it so that they can't get any yield until their tokens actually begin to unlock.
Nice.
So they changed that. So like every change that happens, there will be no change that happens that isn't positive for the long-term success of the Illuvium DAO, ultimately speaking.
Which I really like, because I mean we were talking. This is the one video I think I saw of yours, which was the V2 staking, right? Possibly the V2 staking, and I was like, oh, that's really, like, I really love that proposal, right? Because I thought it was already enacted, but I guess it's still a proposal that's going to be voted on. But I thought that was a really cool incentive where like all the people, like all of us, because all of us right now that are in the Sushi LP or just staking regular Illuvium, whichever one you're doing, all our rewards have a 2-weight rating, which means like whatever it is, like it's almost like it's double the weight. It's basically double the amount. So if you have like 1 Illuvium as reward, it's like it's basically like 2 Illuvium, basically earning the regular flexible reward. So right now, like if I claimed some of my rewards right now, let's just say it's like 4 Illuvium, and that 4 Illuvium would earn me 44% APY or APR, whichever it is, APY, right? And it's just stuck there. So it's really cool. Where like when the team when supposedly when we change over to V2, someone has to stake out for 2 years instead of 1 year to get the two weighting, which is really cool. So it really gives a lot of like extra rewards to the guys who are early, and also just putting up a lot of the money right now to actually fund the project, which is like we're holding up the liquidity right now in the project. That's actually that actually is a like actually this is pretty interesting if you understand how some of these pools work and stuff in terms of like Uniswap V2 and stuff like that. Like I like that, like that how we have our money like half Illuvium, half ETH in the Sushi LP. But one negative about having all that money in the pool is it makes it actually very hard for when you have more and more money in that pool, in one pool where all the liquidity is, the bigger the liquidity, the more harder it is for the price to pump up exponentially. It takes a massive amount of money. So we're actually kind of hurting the price pumpability by having so much money in that pool, actually, in a way. If you know how it kind of works out and stuff. I mean, it's a little more advanced tokenomics sort of thing, but if you have a lot of money in there, let's just say hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So if the pool is only like 20 million bucks total, right? If a guy started buying like 2-3 million at a time, like literally you could have the price go up pretty much a 2-3x with $2 million purchase. But if you were to have $100 million in there, $2 million isn't really, it moves the price a little bit, but it takes significant amounts of purchases to make the price go up. But it also does protect the price from going down when you have a lot of money in there, because it can actually take a ton of dumping essentially from other people and keeps the price from dumping down. So it's basically we've dampened volatility on the token a bit by having so much money in the pool. But because right now there's only 635,000 tokens total, like, and that's it for now. Well, I think there's like some tokens coming out of the treasury says so and stuff. But if since there's only like 637,000 tokens, I mean, basically anyone that comes in, it's just there's just no supply, so the token just goes up anyway, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I mean,
most of the tokens are probably locked up as well.
Yeah,
because everyone that gets in, they're like, well, why wouldn't I stake? Like,
yeah.
The other thing you were saying about the version 2, like the first time I like looked at that new proposal, I definitely thought the same thing, which is like, well, this is great, right? Because anyone that comes in after version 2, they're gonna have to like lock it for 2 years instead of 1 year, like we had to get the same double weight. But then I have been looking at some of the discussions, and I do actually see some of the points. And when you actually think about it, we are anyway getting like a huge benefit by the fact that we came in earlier. Not only did we get it at a cheaper price, but we've also got it earlier, which means we're actually at higher APY. Like someone that comes in at version 2, let's say they come in at the start of the year, like we're actually de-incentivizing them from actually like investing and locking for 2 years. So then people will just be like, well, why would I get in when all these like people had to just put it in for a year, So we're anyway getting way much more of an advantage than someone that comes in a year from now. Like adding further disadvantage to them actually does hurt Illuvium's long-term potential, like investability, because like in crypto 2 years is like
fucking
500 years,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like 1 year lock is already like huge for so many people, and a lot of people are just like, but like diamond hands are just being made out of so many paper hands here, because like I remember when it was like 400 and like it was like 500 and then it dipped down to like 450 or something, and like everyone was getting scared, and like it's like, bro, this is like, it's like not even a dip, it's like 10% dip, but like so many people probably that would have sold didn't sell. So because of this lockup, like we're much more secure. Like people are much more incentivized to hold, and if you do hold for the whole year, like it's much more likely that within a year you'll be highly up. Even if the ILV price stays exactly the same, you're still up because you've been earning yield, and when the revenue starts, you've been earning revenue as well.
Right.
So yeah,
it's I mean, there's just so much to talk about this game. It's insane. It's like literally, it's literally insane. So I'm in the position right now where like I don't care which way it goes. Either way, I'm going along for the ride. If it stays the way it is right now, I don't care. That's perfect. But I see what you mean about I like me, like this is just me because I've been around crypto a long time. I'm always like personally, I always lean towards like shafting the team a little bit more just to be careful because the team like a lot of there's a lot of like I've seen the growth of crypto, a lot of crypto companies since I've been in crypto, a lot of them like where I was close enough to see like the growth of like seeing guys who had no money and get to like a lot of money really quickly in some of these crypto companies or projects and stuff and get very, very wealthy. And I would say maybe the top, so let's just say that like you have a project and it has like a team of like, let's just say 20 people, right? 8 of them are really like the long-term guys. The other 12 are kind of like bullshit, basically. Like, and not real bullshit, but they're just here to, they're not gonna, once they get the money, they get disincentivized and they stop working so hard, and they're the ones like destroying the price, basically. So that's kind of like why I've always I kind of like that. I was like, oh, it's 2 years, but me, I'm more of a long-term staker. Like I'm in Hex, and I have some of my cryptocurrency staked out for 15 years. 15 years. Like I have Hex. I have Hex coming out from year one.
What, like locked for 15 years?
Yeah, 15, 14, 16. I mean, not 16, but 14, 13. I mean, so I have Hex coming out every single year. Basically to perpetuity almost, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I staked. So I took all the Hex I bought early on, staked it out, did 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, all the way up to 15 years and stuff.
Well, the thing you were saying about like the creators or the people like running like tokens or projects, and a lot of them being like short-term thinkers and all this, it's really cool that everyone that is an early investor or a team member, they've actually for the first year, like as of the end of March 2022, for 1 year they'll have their tokens unlocked. So they don't like have everything right now, so they have to hold for at least a year. And then the actual founders, like they didn't even have to do this. Nobody asked them to do this, but they actually said, we're actually gonna do that over 3 years because honestly, like we're here like forever, but like we want you guys to get like put our money where our mouth is. Like we're not gonna fuck off because they're gonna be billionaires not long now. As a group, they're already essentially billionaires, even though all their tokens are locked. So technically not, but
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just like,
they have also within the incentive structures like zero incentive to screw around because it would just negatively impact them. If they did any kind of like tried to rug pull, it would so badly impact them that it just makes no sense.
No, and I understand that, but I always like this. Just there's some crypto like something like a Hex, dude. Like you can't change it. You can't change the contract code, and it just is what it is now, and it's just stuck forever. But there's still is people that can just dump the fucking price down. Like even if you can't change the code, you can fucking just nuke the price. It's the same thing. So because I have some people in the chat that are Hexicans, which they're all about like locked code, which is perfectly fine. Like and it's a little more trustable, but you got to think of other projects and cryptocurrencies sort of as like it's a group project, everyone's contributing and stuff, and then things change here and there and stuff, and it just you have to be more active with it, basically.
No, I 100% agree with that, and that's why a lot of people are concerned that once the team, well, especially the seed and early like seed tokens, that those people they're gonna probably start dropping bombs or at some point like start selling out. Like from my perspective, I think they probably will sell a bit. I don't see why they would sell everything, but then I don't know who they are, and I don't know how short-sighted they are. But like from my perspective, as someone I'm like not unstaking anything for the next 3 years minimum. I don't care. I couldn't care less. I might even buy the dip. Do you know what I mean? But
I think I know who some of the early. I know Santiago Capital is one of the early investors.
Mm-hmm.
Stolly from I always have trouble with these names, but like from basically all of Kane Warwick's friends, basically Barn Bridge Capital guy. Obviously,
if they're Kane Warwick's friends, I doubt that they'd not. But they obviously have crypto awareness.
So. Oh, they're very rich already. But you've been in crypto. They're going to take some profits, but they're not going to sell all of it because it'd be dumb, basically. But you never know. You never know.
like, for example, I do plan to take profits, but I still don't plan to unstake anything for the next 3 years. So how am I going to do
Ooh,
that?
okay, that's news. Okay,
Right? So my strategy is like, I've got a lot of money here. I want to take profits, but I can take profits without ever destroying my base that's earning me more, right? So the way
right,
to do that is once revenue distribution starts, you get paid revenue distribution rewards in ILV. So
correct.
you can purely sell only your revenue distribution rewards, and in your total stack that keeps earning you revenue distribution, you just don't dilute that, you don't decrease that, so that you keep that's like my long-term strategy. I'm looking at this like maybe in 10 years when we've got like 5 or 10 games out, or like at least like probably at least 5 games. I don't see
At
why
least
that's not
5 games.
highly doable, and we're
I want an
making
anime. I want
insane
an anime
revenue.
series.
I want to be making some of that revenue.
No,
Well,
no, try.
about
Yeah,
the anime series, they've definitely like I've spoken to Aaron, and I think they are very much most interested in doing a movie first. But like, if
I'm
this
down.
kicks off, an anime series, a like actor series, like that shit's coming. Then and it's
That
gonna be super cool.
I'm interested. I'm interested for the movie and stuff. If they do that movie, if that movie kicks ass, woo, that's good for the game. Damn, that's good for the game. But like, yeah, I'm down for all that stuff. I'm like, I better be at the premiere though. That's for sure. Like me and Vetemor were out here shilling Illuvium when nobody was even talking about it. No, but all jokes aside and stuff. But like, that's sort of like you don't see that with that many games where they have that many like milestones ahead of time. Most projects they're just making their shit up every fucking 4 months, basically. If I'm being honest. So them making a movie and stuff from the game once the game's more, because by the time they make the movie, I'm guessing there'll be 3 games out. I think that's when I think, because you'll have the land game, you'll have the main game, hopefully, and then they haven't announced what the other games are going to be roughly, but another game, and then that's when I think the movie comes out. I think.
The reason why they haven't announced what the next game is gonna be is
Yeah.
because they can't, because they cannot make the next game without essentially pitching it to the council and the
Hmm.
council approving that idea for the next game. But I have heard Aaron and Kieran speak about it, and they've said like amongst the people that are making the game, like everyone wants the next game to be a different type of game. But he was saying that like Kieran and Aaron, they both want it to be a MOBA, right? So like a World of Warcraft almost level, like just multiplayer, huge
On mobile,
stories.
or on PC.
Probably on PC. I don't see why eventually not on like this is totally speculation and theoretical right now.
Right, right,
But
right.
what
Give me
they
the juice.
were saying about that MOBA is like Kieran was like, I'm really good at pitching, so I don't see why this couldn't go through if I just make a really good pitch. But then obviously someone in the community could just be like, we want a dating simulator, and then that's
God,
what ends
Dave.
up getting you know. Like it's like a running gag that Aaron
Yeah,
keeps doing. Like maybe the next game is like a alluvial dating simulator.
yeah.
Um, I I
Lolly
think that
game.
might even happen one day just because of the joke.
Oh my god. High school simulation, Illuvium. Hey. Oh my god. That's hella funny.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Damn, that's funny. So shit. I mean that's what I like about it. There's a lot of stuff coming up with it and stuff, but yeah, I can't wait to see the land game, which I'm really excited about the land game because I think a lot of people a lot I okay, how do I okay, I gotta say this correctly. Let me say this PC. Okay, so I know a lot of people are probably going to, instead of claiming the regular rewards, are probably just going to claim their SLV rewards, which I feel like is going to destroy probably like 500,000 Illuvium, probably. These people are trying to get games. Maybe it depends. It just depends. I don't know how much people are in the game right now in terms of
I wouldn't
like
go
that.
as far as 500,000. Theoretically, it could be possible, but I don't think that's highly likely. I don't think
Well,
there's that many rewards available to be claimed,
got
honestly.
you. Well, I mean, we'll just have to see what people end up kind of doing. But I do see like
Mhm.
if I understand FOMO and stuff over a certain period of time and stuff. Because like if you think about it over a year, a lot more because like the synthetic ILV is not going to go away, right? So that's going to be around for a long time. So over time, it's like a continuous burn as people, because some people don't want to wait on their money; they just want to cash out.
Currently, SLV can only be created by claiming rewards, but only from the yield distribution only. And there's only 3 million tokens of yield distribution that will be given out.
Got you.
So, but another thing that is being proposed on the side by Stormy is that potentially, and this is a great idea and it's being talked about, is that what if all of the revenue distribution, when that's given out, we give people an option to also claim that as SILV, and there'll be obviously rewards within the game in ILV, right? If you're like winning tournaments or like all this stuff. What if we give an option for people to just claim that in SLV, and especially these in-game people will be like, well, I probably would want to sell it, use it in the game anyway. Why not just claim it as SILV, right? And then if they're doing that, and over time we could get a beautifully decreasing supply. So not only are we like maintaining the supply once it's all out in 3 years, but it could actually be deflationary. So this thing is going to be scarce, man. There's like less than half the supply of Bitcoin of this thing. And everyone's like, why is the token price so freaking high? And it's like, well, look at the market cap. It's just you know. So
that's really interesting. I mean, honestly, if obviously this is the one thing I will say though, that not FUD, but like light FUD, but not really FUD, is that most I mean, we're sort of like I don't know, in cryptocurrency we're sort of like a battered woman in crypto, we're always being lied to and stuff, like, things are going to come out around this time, and it's a bunch of bullshit, and it comes out, it's software, I understand, but still, it's game. But like if the mobile game launches, whether it's in January or December, whatever, my brain is it's in January, not even in next month or whatever, but like let's just
the LAN game.
The LAN game, yeah.
So the LAN game, as soon as the LAN sale happens, you'll be able to play with your land.
Right. So
they will not release the LAN sale until they've actually like made the game, because otherwise you've bought this land and it's basically useless. To my knowledge, what I've just said is accurate. To my knowledge, and then what happens is though, anything you earn within the land game when you buy that land is actually worthless. And it's not even an NFT at first. And then when the main game comes out, right, they reset the land game. And then from that moment forward, then everything you earn actually has value, like the fuel and the resources. And the reason for that is that the main game, the storyline, is that you've just crash landed on Illuvium, your spaceship. And then a bunch of you're like adventurers, and you go out into the world and you're doing this shit. And then some of you go and you play the land game, like you get some land and you like improve it and you harvest resources, which you then can sell to those adventurers and stuff. And then the other cool thing is
which of the Pokeballs, right? Basically, because the shards allow you to catch the Illuvium. Illuvium. Yeah.
So not you won't be selling shards, but you'll be selling fuel for like travel and like other things.
Right.
And the other aspect is like, as soon as they launch the game, so there'll be like a home base area, but it will be like super empty. It won't be like when you go in World of Warcraft and there's all these shops and there's like already a diverse economy like already there set up. It will be like pretty barren. And then like every like 2 weeks or so, they're gonna do an update that slightly increases the like infrastructure until like over the course of a few months, they've built it into like a proper city or like village type thing. So that you get that feeling of like you've just crash landed and it takes time for like the area to like come about. They could just have it already there, but they're going to make it like a proper story. And then at first there's only like 1 or 2 regions that will be unlocked. And then like people literally have to unlock the other regions.
Got you.
And then whoever unlocks a region will literally have their name like in the history books of Illuvium forever.
Yes, I've read that. So you discover something,
which is super cool.
or you're the first person to catch a certain Illuvium as
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Illuvial. Is it Illuvial or Illuvium? Illuvial.
Alluvial
Yeah.
is the characters. Illuvium is the game.
The game. Okay, so the Illuvial, right? So if I catch the Firebird as an example, whatever the fuck the Firebird is, but like a Firebird or a Lightning Bird or whatever, like, and it's like these dollar cost crypto was the first person ever in history to catch this one, and then you're etched in the book basically as your character or whatever.
Also, if you love playing with a certain character and you've like maxed that character out, if you've like hit the most damage with that character that anyone's ever hit, you're also like, because you can compare your character to like the best characters out there in like certain stats, so you'll like be able to see like who's the best out there.
Let's talk about this because I think that people don't understand. Like, so we're talking basically when me and Vetemor right now are talking about we're talking about the land part. So this game has incentives, and you can actually basically what we're doing is we invested in actually owning the revenue of this game and actually owning the game in order to vote and stuff with the game. Where like you can actually play this when the game is actually fully launched. You can play it, and it's not going to cost you much money to start. Which is what they have a free to play. They have free to play islands and stuff and land. So a person that like literally can grind themselves into a fluency if they're really into the game, basically. Which is I find really cool because like a lot of games are like play to earn. You know what I mean? Or like there is play to earn in the game, but you can like I don't know if did you ever play RuneScape as a kid and stuff? Yeah.
I fucking love RuneScape, man.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. We'll get along. So with RuneScape,
I started playing that when I was like 11 or like 10 years old.
So
wait, can I just quickly answer this guy's question, like real quick? So like with the investment, the only barrier to entry is that like you do need to invest a certain amount to make the gas fees worth it because it's on the Ethereum network right now. But you do not need to own any any ILV or anything to actually play the game. You can play the game completely like from scratch for free.
Yeah.
But then like only in the beginning though, you'll really be able to just grind like an insane madman and potentially actually get into the like paid stuff, like be able to sell some stuff for some actual money. Later on, that will be like very unlikely that anyone's going to pay for that. But in the beginning, that will definitely be a possibility for grinders. But even if you are going to just be paying money to get in, like it's not going to be insane. It will be like under $100-$200 to get in, like nothing like Axi. And their pricing to get in should be remaining stable in the long term because the pricing with it for like the travel and the different bits, like the shards and all this stuff, I think they're like linking it to like a US value that's then paid for in ETH. And in like, so that value doesn't fluctuate as crypto fluctuates. So if the game just bangs, it's not impossible to get in for new people.
And you don't got to worry about gas fees because the game, all the transactions in the game are running on its separate network. That does eventually link to Ethereum a little bit, but the fees are going to be cheap if there's any fees at all, basically, to do a transaction because it's going to be off the network, basically. So it's going to run just like a game, high TPS. You can just do all these transactions. You can do all these things, and it's not going to charge you like an arm and a leg to do transactions, which is pretty cool. Because obviously, this is what killed the central end. Is it's still alive and it's doing okay, but it's like it's almost a game for the rich almost now because everything is actually settled on Ethereum. So can you imagine like you know what I'm talking about? Like shit, like it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money in gas fees. So it's made it price prohibitive for a lot of people to even like you can jump in there and just like look around and jump, but you can't own anything because you have to pay. You pay for stuff, right? But then it costs $30-$40 for a shirt, and then then you have to pay like something like $40 for a transaction to even get that T-shirt. So you're literally like $100 in for a fucking T-shirt. You know what I mean? Which is fine. It's okay.
And then if you want to sell that T-shirt to someone for $30-$40, you don't even get back half your like.
Yeah, and that's what killed
gas.
That's what I did. Is like I invested a lot into wearables. I still own quite a lot of wearables and a lot of other stuff in there in the game. But the thing is, the gas fees are just ridiculous. So, but the game that is
just waiting for ETH 2.0 to.
I'll be great here by then. Yeah, but it's yeah, man, that's pretty crazy.
When did Decentraland actually come out, like compared to Axi? Because I actually don't know.
Way before. So I guess the open beta was October. No. Let me check my calendar. Just give me 1 second. Let me see. August or September of 2019. August or September of 2019. So way before Axi's did. And then the main game launched in February 20th of 2020. Basically, that's why there's these shirts that say like Decentraland, and it shows the date when the game launched and shit, and everything. Which I made a nice little mint on those, which was nice. Back when Uniswap transactions were about 10 cents or 5 cents or 3 cents, which is really nice. That's when ETH was super cheap, and you could do all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, that game was really cool. Like a lot of the people from that community were pretty much some of the people that started up the entire gaming space in there. Because like I know a lot of people like Matty DCL blogger and stuff, which is like he's pretty big now in terms of gaming and NFT space. He started in Decentraland himself, and then from there jumped over to a bunch of more of the NFT space more than the gaming space. But he started in the gaming space first and stuff. And a lot of my other buddies, Anorak and a bunch of other guys, we all started on there. And then from there, we just moved on to other stuff. I just went into coins, basically, from there. So like from Decentraland, then I just went straight into the coins. And other people went into NFTs. Other people went more into like actually creating like businesses of actually backing artists to create NFTs and stuff like that. Mostly everyone went into the NFT space and didn't jump into gaming too much, other than like a couple of guys. But DCL Blogger and my buddy Anorak, they got into Axis really early and owned a lot of really rare Axis and bought tokens pretty cheap and stuff as well, and made a lot of money off that. Top Shot as well. They all caught Top Shot and stuff and made millions off of that. So that was pretty cool. And just that's what you just get. That's what happens. Or just you stick around long enough, you'll hit an opportunity. I really do believe that if this game, even if this game only does launch like the land game and then the main game, it'll be pretty successful. I mean, just off of that alone, So
Axi's had one game and it's still in beta. And hasn't Axie been actually out for like very long time, like years?
Yeah. So when I got access to the beta, like the beta on iOS, I think, I played it in March of 2020. So I had March in 2020. My buddy Anorak got me a code to get in. I played it and stuff. It was really cool. I ended up earning a ton of Kyber. You know what Kyber network? Kyber network. It's just old. It's just older token. No one cares about anymore. But Kyber tokens. I ended up winning quite a bit of them and never got paid on them and stuff. So I just owned them. So I had my Axie team and stuff. Just little team. It was fun. And then I just stopped really playing with it because I got bored of it basically. And then it's been around since then and stuff. But the reason it's winning so bad is because like. It's sort of like what happens in Venezuela or it happens in these other like third world countries and stuff where you literally can make more money playing the game than you can working. Literally, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Like people, like I remember back in the day, people would be with their Chinese gold farmers. That actually was a real trope. That was an actual real thing where people in China were like, in World of Warcraft.
Can I just say that if anyone here that's listening is actually currently like an Axie scholar in one of these countries, I think, not financial advice, but there's a huge opportunity. Like if you were to literally save like 50% of all of the money you're earning from Axie, and then the moment Illuvium comes out, like the moment it comes out, you just put that all into Illuvium and you just grind out. Like you don't have to be working for someone to have a scholarship and all this stuff. Like you could actually have your own stuff. And like, that's why I think Illuvium's such an insane opportunity, because in the very beginning, it's going to be as easy as possible to catch these first-gen Illuvials, because the more that get caught, the harder it is to catch more, because they literally get rarer. They're on a like curve, essentially. Like so, and in like 10 generations from now, these like OG Illuvials are just going to be insanely rare, and it's not going to cost you insane money to get in. Because you could literally like put a few $100s in, but the more you start with, the easier it is. Because in the beginning, if you start with like $100, you'd have to keep just like selling the Illuvials you catch to just pay to keep playing. Yeah. If that makes sense, you'd be making slow profit, and you might still be making even more than Axie. But if you saved up a few months worth of like Axie pay, because let's say you're living your life and you're like working for Axie.
Yeah.
and you're making this money, but like it's like bonus income. Like maybe you need like half of it for like what you really want for your lifestyle, but the rest you're kind of just splurging because why not? But if you just saved it, like this is an insane opportunity to get some like serious like self-sovereignty going on just through the crypto gaming world.
I mean, you get into crypto, and it's the way out. There's ways. There's free money out here in crypto, man. You just got to work and put your time in because people in the first world countries that they don't got the time, or they're actually making more money just working the regular job than they would actually playing Axies. But
Yeah,
they're more
it's
so
not
that's
worth their time. Yeah,
it's not worth their time, but there's still money to grab there. So it's even for a kid. I know of a kid and stuff that's like he's made some serious money just like playing Axies, basically, just from early
yeah.
on. And I mean, there's gonna be stories a year from now, like, oh yeah, I was 16 years old and I became a millionaire off of playing Axies because I bought the Axie token with a little bit of money here and then played the game and then got rich. And this is why this section, I do believe that the gaming NFT section, or I should call it cryptocurrency games, are going to get gigantic because people are going to become as soon as people hear like I'm 16 years old and I have $1 million, I'm this and this and this and that, it blows up. These stories blow up, and then people jump in, and then But what I love about it is it's more of a honeypot because it just gets people into crypto in general, which is really cool.
That's what I plan to do with that friend of mine who's like 14 years old.
Oh, right.
When I drop that 1 to 2K on him, and he's just going to be grinding that game, and he's going to be taking advantage of the beginning of the launch. I know for a fact I'm basically going to like take at least 2 weeks off when the game comes out. Honestly, I think I'm quitting my job before the game comes out just to properly go full time because I'm in this like all
Yeah,
in, to be
you're all
honest.
I mean, hey, you
I'm
get
all
the
in.
biscuit, man. You got my vote. I mean, I've heard from a little birdie that Vetemor might go for a council member. I don't know. I just heard this is just word off the streets
So
a little bit.
I made a video. I made a video on the council and the DAO, like explaining it, and then like a few people commented, like, if you run for the council, I'll vote for you. And I was like, yo, guys, like, if this video gets 500 likes, then that's like 500 people in the community are saying, like, you know what, I'll vote for this guy. We actually want this. Like, the community wants this. So then what I'll do is, if I get those 500 votes, I'll genuinely take you guys on a ride on my YouTube channel and like take you through the process involved in applying to run for council. I don't expect to become a council member. If I actually became a council member and I was still employed, like I'm quitting my job straight away and I'm just gonna take it super seriously and properly take like full responsibility of that role and genuinely do what's involved. But I think it's gonna be a fun video to actually show like the insider's view of what it takes to kind of apply for council member and like seeing it from the insider's perspective. Because if I actually did become a council member, I'd be kind of just like telling everyone what's actually going on and keeping everyone in like up to date. Although I do think most of the council members at the moment, they are like pretty transparent. So I don't think that's a huge issue. Although, yeah, I'm not gonna go deep into that because I don't want to start drama.
Yeah, don't start drama.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah, of course.
How many plots of land do you plan to buy, or do you plan to buy just like a single plot of like the highest, like the biggest plot that you can afford based on what you have?
I plan to be a land baron.
Like multiple lands.
Oh yeah, multiple lands. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make a decent sized investment. The thing is, I don't know what the cost is for the really highest tier land. I'm guessing it'd be pretty significant because I
tier 5?
Yeah, tier 5 if I can, or I don't know which way which is the highest. Tier 5 is the highest.
Tier 5 is the highest, and honestly, I doubt you're gonna buy one.
We'll see. I mean, I will see how much it's gonna go for, but we'll see.
Like millions.
We'll see. I mean, we'll have to see. I have to see how much it's gonna cost. But I don't
know the size of your portfolio, but like, I don't know.
I just have to see. I just have to see what the how it's laid out in more pricing and stuff and everything, and kind of just see what we get with each tier a little bit more and stuff and everything like that.
I can give you that breakdown like right now if you want.
Yeah, lay it on me. Let's go.
Cool. cool.
Can you just give me like 1 second? I gotta. Someone's like knocking on my door for some reason.
No problem. Should I just wait for you, or?
Or you can just talk about something about the Illuvium and stuff and everything. I mean, here's a pretty interesting one. Like, people are asking, like, is it a good price? Like, is it still too late to DCA to Illuvium if you don't have any?
So that would obviously be financial advice. In my opinion, it's not necessarily too late. Like, I've done a lot of price predictions, and based on like models of revenue distribution, I have videos of that in my YouTube channel. I don't think it is too late. I got my friend to invest very recently. The reason why I don't think it's too late is that if the price right now did go up, and you've bought at this price right now, and you've locked it for a year, and then in a year it actually came back down to like this level, or like slightly even below this level, you'd still be ahead because of how much you've earned if you have staked. Obviously, if you are wanting to stake it, then you've got to check, like, for sure, just check out my staking video. I'm not trying to like shill here. It's just that you do need to, like, there is like a minimum, there's a barrier to entry based on like the gas fees and stuff. But if you just want to buy ILV just to hold it, then that's a different story, because the returns are far greater if you are staking, and especially if you're staking and locking it for a year. Like, as far as I can tell, that's where the real money in Illuvium, in like investing in Illuvium right now, if you want to really invest, the way to do it is to stake, in my opinion. But obviously, not everyone can afford to do that. You can just DCA into ILV. I just, over the next, like, from right where we are right now to like a year from now, I just don't think the returns are as insane as it could be from like just putting your money into Ethereum. But I think if you are going to invest in it, ILV right now, and stake it, especially if you stake it in SLP, which is the Sushi liquidity pool, then I think the returns are like potentially ridiculously far more insane than anything you could get getting into, say, Ethereum. This is obviously entirely speculative. Obviously, we'll be getting into the land sale in a second. What else can I say? Jesus, let me go and check out this video so that I can see what you guys are actually commenting, because I have no idea. Okay. Is there no comments? Jesus. Okay. There is not. Okay. Is it too late to DCA into ILV if you haven't got any yet? Essentially, just like it's only too late. I mean, it's never too late to DCA into anything if you are going to DCA. Depends on the returns you're expecting. Yeah. I'm just at this point going to wait. As for like my personal strategy, that when it comes to investing in RV, which I am actually making a video on soon, I'm invested like majority into SLP, only because the first stake I did was in ILV, and the reason is that I think SLP is the way to go. You've got to do your own research. I have videos on it that explain the pros and the cons. It's somewhat riskier, but and then I'm planning to just not sell anything for like 3 years and only get things from staking, essentially. Jesus, I like ran out of things to say at one point, man.
Sorry,
I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for him, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should say something.
No, sorry, somebody.
No problem.
Someone didn't have their key, and I had to help them with something.
Cool, bro.
Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I heard a bit of it when you came back, when I was coming back into the room and stuff. I do believe SLP is really the way to go as well. That's what I did as well. Like I didn't see much. I mean, it's okay if all you want to do is if you're more risk averse and you just want to like if you just want to buy the token and just flex pool it and just earn like 25%, 30% APY.
I almost don't see the point of doing like when
Yeah,
like that guy asked
the
that
gas
question,
fees.
right?
Yeah,
He said like, is it too late to DCA? And I literally said like, honestly, if you're gonna like buy ILV right now and just hodl the token and not even stake it, like put your money into ETH. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I almost would say that might be a better play because you're not earning any revenue distribution or yield, and I'd like the obviously like a bunch of the token is like not even in circulation right now, so that's got to happen.
Yeah.
So I do think the price can go to insane levels, but like it's about the time frame, and I think if you're in it for
Right.
like 3 or 4 years, the gains could be phenomenal, but they're so much more phenomenal if you're staked, essentially.
Right. Right.
You wanted me to break down land.
Yeah.
Should I do that?
Let's get into the tiers of land a little bit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because like that is something I'm gonna buy some land, but I'm still kind of like I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. Like how hard in the paint I'm gonna go versus like maybe I might concentrate more on the basic lands, or I don't even know. Like I just read the article on the basically the tier 5 land being like 1 of 7 or something, or 1 of 5 if I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and then each tier has more and more.
So I'll start at tier 5 and I'll work my way down.
Sure.
So tier 5, there will be only 7 of them,
Okay.
and they earn like the most fuel and the most resources, which is cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. But what's insane is that they also are the only land that have the opportunity to build a landmark on them. And what that landmark essentially is like a stadium. So imagine if you owned the stadium where the Super Bowl is held, right? You'd obviously get a percentage of all the advertising and all of like the entry fees of like ticket costs and stuff of everyone going to the Super Bowl. So
Jeez.
all of like the tournaments that are held, esports tournaments and stuff in the future, you'd be getting a cut of all of that revenue. And like since there is 7 of them, obviously when you're holding a tournament, like you'd be having multiple matches happening potentially at the same time and all this different stuff. And or like first we do it in this arena, then on that land, then and like go through the lot. But you'd actually be getting a percentage of that total. And the reason why people would want to even like pay for a ticket is because there's 2 ways to like watch the match. One, you watch it as a free to watch person.
Right.
And if you're doing that, you just get to see like the match, but from like one angle, right? So if you pay for a ticket, you can get all of the like cool different cinematic angles to the whole thing, and you get to be part of that premium experience. And there will be a limited number of tickets per stadium, like per match, essentially, and you get to have your avatar in the stadium, and you're actually like watching, and you're part of that. And Kieran's also been like talking to DJs, and they'll have like DJs like at the break time, like they might have singers on there. Like I think it was like Travis Scott that like did a concert on like Fortnite, so cool shit like that. But back onto like the land, I actually wish I could send you this thing, but essentially tier 4 land. Jesus, I really want to send you this. If I send you something, could you put it on the screen?
Or is it... Yeah, I can share the screen. Yeah.
2 seconds, because I literally need to like crop it.
Bro, you're making me want to. But I'm guessing that land's going to be very expensive, probably like $1 million, probably.
So he's like Kieran's like talking to like huge investors about those lands, and so I think it's going to be very hard to get one of those, and because it's a Dutch auction, like no one knows. You could buy it. Anyone can buy it if they have enough money, you know.
Yeah, but it starts at a high price and just keeps going down until someone bids and they win it, basically. Yeah.
the moment you bid, you have won it. You know,
Yeah.
that's literally how to win it. But like, it's like, are you going to be able to bid like the $100 million it starts at? Obviously not. Hmm. So how many? So you were saying you want to get like a bunch of lands of like the same type, or
I'm still in that part right now where I'm just figuring out my strategy basically and what I'm going to allocate
Mhm.
towards it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know price points and stuff like that just yet on the lands, but I do want to own some lands just so I can have resources and stuff, and then as well as just because I want to be more. If you're playing the game, you're also more in the game as well. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you understand, like
yeah.
yeah, keeps. If I'm
Um,
using
I
it,
s-
I'm not. If you use it, you don't lose it.
yeah.
Oh, you shared the
I
photo.
sent it to you on
Twitter.
yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter. Actually, that helps
So,
because then I can look at it on my phone.
okay. So let's
Right.
share.
Because it will be really helpful to have that on the screen at the same time. Because when you're just talking numbers, but like there's no visual to go with it.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one. So
Okay.
essentially, the tier 4 land will have slightly less fuel, slightly less resources. That's what the element sites are for. And obviously, as you go down, there's less fuel and there's less resources. But then the tier 4 sites, they also have a fuel landmark. And what that means is like there's some kind of like bonus fuel thing going on there. So let me read that real quick.
Element land,
Um,
and then none, none, none. But basically, the tier one lands are probably one fuel sites, three element sites.
so what a landmark means, like, let's start with the tier 4 one, the fuel landmark. What it means is that it increases the amount of fuel that's produced on that land, and it also reduces the losses when you're converting the fuel, if that makes sense. So
Hmm,
ultimately, you've got a more efficient fuel process on
got it.
top of the fact that you've got way more fuel than the previous one. And then the tier 3 land, it's got more everything than the previous one, but it's got the element landmark, which means that its resource production is more efficient overall. And then the tier 2 land is like, by the looks of it, it's about 3 times better than the tier 1 land.
Gotcha.
So it's got 3 times the amount of fuel. It's only got double the amount of resources, but to my knowledge, resources will be less valuable. They'll have like in-game value because you can make like different skins with them and like potentially different weapons for within the game. Um, but like I'm not certain if it is just skins. Obviously, skins will be a big thing because like Fortnite makes the majority of their revenue literally from skins,
Right.
and skins is like a drop in the ocean compared to the rest of the revenue we'll be earning in this game, which
Gotcha.
is madness.
I think I know which one I'm going to ape a little harder into as a strategy, but I still I'll if I can't get a. I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know. It just depends how many tier fours are there basically in terms because it would be cool.
So they actually haven't released any numbers beyond the fact that there will be 7
Fives.
tier 5 lands and there'll be 100,000 total lands overall. But in the
Gotcha.
first land sale, there's only going to be 20,000 lands sold, and there'll be 4 more land sales in the future. So in this first land sale, there isn't going to be 7 tier 5 lands sold, probably. Like maybe they do sell them all in the beginning, but what's I think more likely is it will be either 1 or 2 of them,
Gotcha.
probably 2, and then like to get 7 out of 5, like you need to do 2, 2, and then just ones after that. So, or they'll do one, like there's different ways of doing it. But essentially, like there'll be like tier 4 will be the second rarest, tier 3 will be like less rare, and then tier 1 will just be like the least rare.
Yeah.
So the
If I
higher up, the less there'll be.
if that's the case in terms like then I expect this to go sort of like pair chain auctions in a way with like Polkadot. So the first one's going to be fucking overpriced, and then the second one a little bit more calmer. Let's people figure out the numbers because there's math to it. So we're all just kind of like in the air a little bit on the first one. Then basically I just see diminishing returns. Like like things can like there's probably going to be like one auction where it's like the hype's gone a little bit, and then the hype picks up back again, and then it gets hot again. So there's always that sort of thing where like you end up having like the first one's going to be overbought. The second one's going to be more calm. I think maybe the third or the second one's going to be probably one of the best prices ever to get into the land and stuff. Then
let's just the second or the third land sale.
Land sales. It just depends. So you because like I've seen these sort of land sales before on Sandbox. I've seen it also on Decentraland. What happens is that you end up having more moderate prices, probably second to third sale, and then they shoot back up again once the game is fully like in full swing and stuff. So I'm giving you guys some alpha right here and stuff because I've seen this with Sandbox and Decentraland. That first land sale is always going to be fucking crazy. Always. It just is.
But the other thing with this land sale is this is the only land sale happening before the main game comes out.
Correct. No, yeah,
exactly. The rest of the land sales will be when like there is game hype essentially.
Right. So, but the thing is like the first one always sells crazy. It just is. It's because it's yeah. Of course it is. I mean, like
I've heard a few people say this, but I don't know why. But I think this will be the cheapest land sale out of all the future land sales, simply because like nobody even knows what this project is. This land, the moment it's sold, like nobody even knows the precise value that you can actually earn from having a land. Whereas like once the game comes out, that will be like super clear the actual value of that land. No, so there's less people that know about it now compared to then.
It's true. I mean, you can play both ways.
The other thing is, the last thing is, like if you buy a piece of land in this land sale, you've actually bought an asset that is actually not earning you any yield or anything for like the next 5 months until the game comes out. Like it's literally not earning you anything. And then when the game comes out, then it starts earning you. Whereas in future land sales, the moment you buy your land, like it's earning, like it's got earning potential. Whereas like right now, it's like, I believe in the project, I want a piece of the game. It might almost even be, this is something to consider. Like I think buying land, especially if you're buying loads, is potentially a like more risky play than actually just keeping your staked ILV, like theoretically. Because it's how much value are you losing in those? Or you buy the land and then the land sale fucking explodes and it goes crazy and it was well worth it, you know?
The thing is that you never hear about, if you hear the thing, there's reading, like if I know anything right, like, okay, wait, let me not say what I was about to say. That would have not been PC. But okay, so greedy, right? So a lot of people in crypto are greedy ass motherfuckers, right? And they're like, so what's going to happen is you never hear about this shit. So like with Sandbox and Decentraland, not a fucking, when the game launches, sure, everyone's like, yeah, the game's launching, yeah, right? But when the land sale's going on or a private fucking like NFT drop, not a fucking peep. Quietly. It's the same thing with the yield farming market, right? No one wants competition, right? And so it's a sort of thing where like when this launches and stuff, there's already big quiet money in this game, right? I mean, like you know, I mean, there's people with millions and millions of dollars, like you know, I mean, it's not very hard. Like if I were to throw into this thing, I'll throw somewhere in the six figures, basically, just like what I'm gonna buy in land, basically. If I were to do this, but I just have to really like think. I have to think about it, but I would just take the shot in the dark on it, just because.
Can I ask, is this your first public video on Illuvium?
Public video, yes, on Illuvium.
So like this is what I'm saying. Like actually, this is what you're saying. Like you've got 6 figures invested. You are a crypto YouTuber, and you've not even spoken about it. So you're literally one of those quiet.
Yeah, I'm literally. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But I know of other people that I know of another person that's got about 1 million thinking about doing all this and stuff. And other people, like that's what I'm trying to tell you is like there's people out here just like in the shadows, like sort of talking about it. But like there's also other people as well as like. I mean, they're just not YouTubers, you know. So how would you know about them anyway? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like the reason I haven't talked about it is because I was talking about it to my class and stuff privately, but I told like, you know, about 1,700 people about Illuvium and all this stuff, and then a lot of them did get in and started earning interest and stuff on Illuvium and stuff. So it's just that sort of thing. So I mean, in a way, I did tell quite a lot of people basically about it. But you didn't hear about it. So that's what I'm trying to say is like, by the the people are not going to talk about it. But there's actually a lot of people privately talking about it. So it's kind of word of mouth. Like it's like because like right, Vetemor, right? Let's just say you're really into Illuvium like you are right now, except you're just in YouTube. What you would do is like you would be on your Discord, or you'd be telling all your buddies, right? You'd be like, hey Miguel, dude, the land sale's coming tomorrow. Don't forget, it's coming tomorrow. Oh shit. Oh fuck. What, you gonna buy some land? Yeah, Miguel, I'm gonna buy this much land. Da, da, da. Okay, cool. And I'm like, because I know some people, it's just word of mouth sort of thing. And like you still tell your closest friends, but they tell other people, right? Hey man, dude, I'm about to ape into this thing. Really? Because you end up knowing, because like if you're a man of worth, you end up knowing other men of worth, and then so you end up just getting a bunch of people who have money into it, basically. Or you're like, hey bro, at least buy a tier 1 or tier 2 land, bro. I know you just buy it, bro. Like, just, you never know, it might end up doing pretty good. Just buy a tier 2 and then buy a couple tier 1s. You never know, it might end up panning out. Okay, fuck it. And then people do that stuff, and then what ends up happening, it sells, because like typically in crypto, just historically, land sales are a moneymaker for people. It's a huge moneymaker in crypto. Like, I know for a fact, like a bunch of people that I know who got into Decentraland, like I got into Decentraland probably late 2019. I knew guys that got into it mid 2019, when the game really actually, you could buy land and everything into it, became millionaires off of land, or land whales off of that. And same thing with Sandbox. Like, I have people even in my, like, that I know that made fortunes off of land. So every time, that whole thing, it's just, even if this land just is a complete stinker, they'll take the shot on it because they've made those kind of crazy returns off of land. So anytime you say a land sale, that like in crypto NFT land, it clicks in people's head. They'll take a shot on it and put money into it. That's all I'm saying.
The other thing is, because all past land sales, right?
Yeah.
Like, even like Axi land, you check out like what did they sell it for, and it's like 0.0 like whatever Ethereum.
Yeah.
And then now it's like somewhere, like depending on the tier of land, it's like between 20 and like 100x the price.
Right.
I think like loads of people just like the moment land happens, as you said, like people know, like they hear land, they hear money.
Yeah.
Another argument is that like, because of this experience with like everyone wants to buy land because that shit's going to go crazy, and then Illuvium going for the unique option of not doing like a set price but doing a Dutch auction, it's possible that this land, as you're saying, could actually go insanely high priced, and future land sales could be way less price because people just overvalue it, thinking, oh, this is gonna like 10x in like.
So
like
that was because when you told me Dutch auction, that's what I thought. Like, I feel like people are gonna burn their hand on the stove. Like, even me, like I'm still gonna burn my hand on the stove a little bit. Like, I won't blow my whole load, but like I'm gonna buy something. I'm gonna buy a little bit of like.
Oh, 100%.
I'm gonna buy some here, some there. I'll probably buy a little tier 1, a little tier 2, some tier 3. I'll see how much tier 4 is. I don't know how much tier 4 is, but whatever price tier 4 is, if I can get one, that'd be cool. And then I'll be like, all right, that's enough. And then I'll just wait for the next auction or something, or like, or something like that, and then that's because like if let's just say, as me as a person, right, if I was trying to be a sniper, like if let's just say for this first auction there might be 2 for sale, and then after each auction there's 1. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. For the tier 5s.
What about them?
Oh, I said like it's probably for the first auction. There's probably going to be like 2 tier 5s for sale.
Probably 2. But they could sell all 7 in the first sale. I don't see why they would though.
Yeah, I mean neither. I mean, it's a sort of thing where like, so we could be somewhere mid next year, but by the time the last one sells or something, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. I mean, this is just speculation, you guys. Like, not financial advice or anything.
A lot of speculation has taken place.
A lot of speculation has taken place, but it's pretty interesting and stuff. So in terms of purchasing the land, do you just buy it with Ethereum, or how can you buy this land? Is it just with the ILV token, the SLV token, or just Ethereum token? How do you buy it?
You cannot buy the land using the ILV token, but you can buy it using Ethereum or SILV token. And so Ethereum, obviously, Ethereum. You just need it in your wallet, essentially. SILV, there's 2 ways to get SILV. One being you either claim it as a staked reward, because when you have rewards building up in staking, you can claim them either as ILV or you claim them as SILV. And if you claim them as SILV, that amount of ILV will never be minted. So the total possible amount of ILV is decreased, making it more scarce overall.
Right.
Or you can actually just buy SILV on the market,
Hmm.
and the value of SILV within a land sale or within the game is worth whatever the value, like dollar value of ILV is at that time. They've got a 1-to-1 value. It's just that you can't use SILV anywhere. You can't stake it. You can only use it within the game or to buy land sales, or if they do some future sale that takes SILV. The reason why there is a market for it is because some people, like, let's say you invested at like $50, right? And then now it's like, because they were, when they were initially distributing the tokens, they were about $55, and
Hmm.
right now it's obviously over $700. So if you like claimed some SLV and you're one of these early whales, you could sell it on the market for half the price, which it currently is about half the price or even less than half of ILV, and you'd still be making a huge return on investment just to be taking some profits, getting some liquidity. I'm going to drop this right now as like a hidden leak. I haven't actually spoken about this on my channel,
Oh
but
shit.
um I know somebody, they've like seen this on like the they were watching the ether scan essentially, and they followed
Yeah.
some whales, and what some whales have actually been doing is they weren't ever claiming ILV. They were claiming purely SILV and then
Oh,
selling 100% of that SILV for Ethereum, then using that Ethereum to buy half ILV and then buy more Sushi liquidity pool tokens to go harder into Sushi liquidity pool, and then
reposticating.
actually, so that
Reposticating.
in the,
Yeah.
so that in the long run, if you, and he did the math, and currently this might still be like doable. It's not really doable if you're a small fish, but if you're a huge whale, the gas fees become borderline meaningless along the way. So you'd actually potentially be having way more ILV in the long run by doing it that way, just because of the APY on the SL Sushi liquidity pool.
Yeah, so basically you'd have to be in a person that's basically got a lot of money in SLP off the jump in order to make that even possible. So you can,
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, then you
But
sell it.
you could theoretically get in right now and still do that. You obviously got to be a whale, but you could
Yeah,
do it. As time goes by, this is gonna like become non-profitable. But as of right now, the maths could make sense. The maths 2 months ago made huge sense to do that.
yeah. Now it's going.
Um,
I mean, since I got in, the average number's gone down to 150% across
yeah,
both flexible
yeah.
and the stake. So I would imagine this becomes kind of, if I had to guesstimate 1 month from now, probably it's not. It becomes, because like you got to think like we're probably going to lose another 100% APY in a month, probably
hmm
100%. So
Well, the other thing is, right, the ILV pool. You said they both went down about the same amount.
yeah,
But
rough. Yeah,
that
rough.
actually means that the ILV pool went down way more because it was smaller to start with, right? So
No, no, man,
if you,
I meant the sushi LP
oh,
APY. Yeah,
okay,
because like if from when I came in, the ILV yield was 66%. Now it's 40-ish. That's
hmm
like fully fully staked. 1 year.
yeah,
Yeah, fully locked. Yeah, and because like the highest I ever had was like, I think there was like a day or two where I was at 620%, 620% for fully locked out, and then that went. Now that's at like no. Yeah, somewhere in the 300s, like 360, something like that, 380 some days, but it's like usually 350. And then the flexible right now is like just almost at 200%
I
for the
think we
sushi.
actually got in at a very similar time. I think the
Yeah.
highest I was at was maybe 650%.
Yep. Yeah. So you
So
probably got
like,
in a little before me.
yeah. I
Hey
mean,
man,
I think you've got a way bigger investment than I do. So
let's hope it pans out, man. I mean, I saw this and just my spidey senses were tingling. I was like, you know what? I think so. I think this is gonna, yeah. I
I
think this,
think this could be one of those insane ones that
yeah.
like people look back 10 years from now and go like, yo, those guys that bought Bitcoin for like $10 a piece, like what the hell? Like,
Like
I
this.
don't think at that level of exaggeration, but
Yeah.
potentially as well, because I've done some of the math on like the revenue that we could be earning, and like, bro, bro, it's so ridiculous.
I gotta
Like,
check that one out. I gotta check out that revenue one you did. I don't think I've
if
seen
you
it.
haven't seen that video, you're gonna go crazy
All right,
watching that video.
I'll watch it, and then I'll probably meet you up later and be like, "What the fuck? Is it
Bro,
really
bro,
is it really that crazy?"
I honestly, like, I thought, like, I was just like off the top of my head, like, revenue will probably be like $10 per ILV token or something. Maybe
Right,
like in 3 years we might hit 50. But like I was just pulling numbers out my ass, right?
right,
Like, and I was just talking to somebody in one of our private like groups, and they were like, "Yo, why don't we actually just like run the maths, right?" And they took me through the maths step by step, and we went through it together, and we were like chatting about it, asking questions. Yeah, but what about this? What about this? And the deeper I got, the more like my mind got blown of the
Mm,
potential. And that's essentially what my revenue distribution video is all about, where I predict what it could be based on the amount of players playing the game. And
right.
like, my predictions are conservative as hell. But you watch my conservative predictions and they're
Yeah.
so bullish that you can't help
All right.
but just like,
Give me.
that's what I love about Illuvium. Like, the
Yeah.
conservative predictions are super bullish, and the bullish predictions are just like, you've obviously like gone crazy.
Right, right. So okay, give me give me the most conservative thing. The most I don't want to. I don't hear no crazy numbers. Like what's conservative? Like I don't even know. Like per income per token. Like what is it? Like is it like $50 or six something like that, or like you think long term, or like because it's hard.
Wait,
It's hard to
wait.
know what income's going to be unless you like because it depends on how many games are launched, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1 second. I
Yeah.
need to find it.
Yeah. So hey, if just for some of you guys that missed it, if you guys have a small little bit of Illuvium and it's just Illuvium, we think that it's not worth staking it in the ILV pool because it just you're not going to have enough rewards. You'll have to have it staked a long time just to claim just one reward one time, and it just for because like if you have 3 Illuvium or you have like 5 Illuvium just staked in the pool by itself or earning only like 44% liquid or something, it'll take quite a while before you get enough Illuvium rewards in there to like actually be worth the gas fee payment as well on top of that. So the gas fees could eat into your rewards. So if you are going to do the staking on it, you basically have to take your ILV and sushi and put it in the flexible or put it in the long-term pool, and then you basically have to like kind of go hard in the paint with it. So it's just a sort of thing where like you might be better off just holding the token itself and just get price appreciation on it and stuff. But you got to play. You got to see what works for you. And you got to you got to run the math for yourselves a little bit.
So in my revenue distribution predictions, right?
Yeah.
This is my based on a conservative model. If you want to
Right.
understand how I made that model, that's my revenue distribution video. I also made an ILV price prediction video based on this video. But like, so the prediction is based on how many active players are playing the game, right?
Yeah.
So if we've only got 100,000 players as active players, then that's $12.85 per ILV per month.
Okay. So
right? Which means I'm no longer gonna talk in ILV. I'm gonna talk in 100 ILV. That's 1,200 at like 1.2k per month if you got 100 ILV. So if
with
there's
the
200
with the 100K
yeah,
users, with the 100K users,
with 100k active users, like daily
Okay.
users,
Okay.
conservative, right? So if there's 250,000 players, then that's about 3k per 100 ILV per month. Which means like that's like a wage. That's like a wage, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, 100 ILV right now is worth 70 grand,
Yeah.
like $70,000, right? But if you think about it, if you were to go into SLP right now, you wouldn't need to actually put in $70,000 right now to get 100 ILV within like a year, if that makes sense, because of how much you'd earn from yield.
You'd effectively need about, like, I'm just doing this in dollars. You probably need $18,000 invested in SLP. I think would probably get you there, especially if you're staking
It
long.
might take you 3 years to get there on
Yes,
$18,000.
because like $18,000. That's if you're staked all the way out. You're getting 360%, but that's not going to last for that long. So you get a full returns right now. Hey, I mean, it gets you close, but yeah, you're right. It could take a while, and then two, your yield's also earning.
But if you put in like $30,000, you should be able to get around that 100 mark within about 12 months, potentially.
Yeah.
And then if there's
so
half a million, yeah.
No, go for it.
And then if there's like 500,000 players, and now let's just consider the fact that like Axi Infinity, right? They've already got 1 million players, right?
Right.
So they've already passed the 1 million players mark. And if we like for Illuvium to be earning whatever Axi is earning at their peak of like 1 million players, we'd actually only need about 404,000 active players. And that's considering my like conservative models. So potentially like we could just have 200,000 players and be earning what Axie Infinity was earning at 1 million players.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense too. And
ours is actually distributed amongst the people.
And there's a chance because like I don't know. I mean, how close you track the crypto market in terms of like the rest of the market, but basically, this bull market's continue until next year, so the prices will be higher. So even something like Axie will, because it will more than likely will be graded on a curve based on Axie. I think at some point we're gonna be graded on like what Axie's doing, basically. So if Axie, let's just say 2 to 3x's in terms of users, because it just depends. As long as the token starts going up,
you're talking about user base.
Yeah. So it's a sort of thing where like if Axie, because basically our glass ceiling or our sort of like, so if you look at the here, I'll just pull up a thing just to explain what I'm trying to say. I'm on a lot of Red Bull right now. So if you look at here, right, you see Bitcoin and Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
The market cap of Bitcoin is $1.2 trillion. You have 400. Let's just call this half a trillion dollars, right? Well, what's going on is something like Cardano and Binance token. They can only go so high before the market thinks it's kind of like, no, you guys are not worth like a quarter of like the market cap of Ethereum or something like that, right? It can get to half the market cap of Ethereum, but it's a sort of thing like these coins can't really pump past Ethereum's market cap. So it's a sort of thing where like if Ethereum doubles or triples, these can move now exponentially now. So the whole ceiling moves up because these can move up, then these move up. Everything moves up basically because the market cap of the two largest incumbents moves up. So it's a sort of thing is if the market goes really hot next year, which it will, but not financial advice, of course. Of course, right? But if the market keeps continuing to go up, because we're going to hit $100,000 BTC this year, straight up. I mean, straight up this year. So we're talking about a 2x minimum on BTC, or even if it just hits 100,000, whatever. I mean, even if it's 100,000, the market cap will increase to basically $2 trillion. Then Ethereum's market cap would basically, I mean, the price of Ethereum would go something like $7,000. So if it goes $7,000, everything else moves up as well. And then the lower cap coins go up with 2 to 3x off the rip off of that. So it's the same thing with Axies. If Axie starts pumping up in price, more people start earning more money, more people start getting interested because the Axie price is going up because there's so much money flowing around, then the user base could go to 2 million players. Well, it's sort of a thing where because there's 2 million players that actually because there's such a large concentration of people in there, since the game is gravitated, it's sort of like a Noah's Ark where we can sort of leech people off there just because people are making money on that, and then they'll try out Illuvium. Basically, the overall amount of people in the space grows, and because it grows, Illuvium could get more of those user base players and stuff like that. So it's pretty significant actually. And so if the better Axies does or any of the other tokens does, the better we all do anyway.
I totally agree with your point, but to like add on to that, we need, so for every like 2.5 let's say every 5 players that Axie has, we
Right.
need only 2 players to be making the same revenue as them. And that's conservatively speaking. Maybe we just need 1 player to make
Right.
what 5 of their, like, to get the kind of revenue they get from having 5 players, right? So as we grow, because Axie grow, our player base grows, and as our player base grows, we grow faster than they grow,
Yes.
right? So then there comes a point where, like, our price won't actually have anything to do with their price. And the reason why we can break their ceiling, like, Ethereum obviously struggles to break Bitcoin's ceiling because, like, psychological reasons and all this stuff, right?
Correct.
As you were saying. But with Illuvium, the Illuvium price isn't solely determined on that kind of thing. Because
Correct.
if the revenue distribution is just so insanely high, the price has to go up because people want to have, like, if the price of ILV is super low but the revenue is really high, you can just buy that really cheap ILV, stake it, and be making, like, insane APY on,
Correct.
because you're getting direct revenue. So the
Yep.
price has to go up so that it's a reasonable amount of APY, like 20% or something.
Yeah.
Not to mention that you're earning yield on top of that for those first 3 years. So the ILV price has to bang. That's why I think that sell pressure will be seriously mitigated if there is revenue at that time. And
Right.
as that revenue grow, that I think they'll be mad to sell their tokens, especially, like, I'm talking about the early seed investors or seed investors.
They always do though. They always do though. They always
No,
do.
but they always do, but they never have any incentives like that much beyond, like, what if I hodl and maybe it's worth more later? But
Right.
what if I hodl right now and I keep taking profits purely off my revenue distribution that I earn? Because as you earn revenue distribute, like, if you earn yield and you claim those rewards, you have to lock them for a year.
Yeah.
If you earn revenue, when you earn revenue distribution, that's immediately unlocked ILV that you can sell.
Right.
So you can just, like, they got it at such a cheap price. Like, early seed got ILV at $1,
Yeah.
and the later seed got it at $3, right? Because they needed this money to, like, start things off and kick things off. And then right now, like, there's so much X on their thing that if they literally just claimed all their revenue distribution and sold all of it, they would not negatively impact ILV price at all. Like, at all.
Yeah.
But what would happen is they'd make insane money off that. Like, and that's why eat away at your stake base when that revenue is just, like, so much more than you put in anyway
Yeah. Just but
per month.
some people are rational. Oh, look, the price is almost $800.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Mwah, beautiful, beautiful. That's so nice, dude. But yeah,
Are,
dude,
are
like
we going to talk about Bitcoin breaking all-time highs?
I don't even care.
Yeah, I don't care either. Like, I saw
Yeah.
it today and I was like, okay, like,
I'm happy.
cool.
So one of the reasons why, I mean, so there's this whole thing in crypto, right? Whether, like, it's fundamentals that pump the market, or is it like the charts, right? It's kind of the whale tagging the dog, whichever way you see it and stuff. But basically, the ETF got passed, kind of pumped a little bit off of that. But then here's the real pumpamental news, right? So the ETF that passed, which was from something called Valkyrie funds, they passed a futures ETF, which is a bunch of horse shit. It's basically paper Bitcoin ETF, which is it's dumb. Basically, it's a way for them to essentially be able to short it and be able to actually control the price up and down by pumping money. Because every time they try to make a paper version of BTC to get money in there, nobody wants to put money in there at all, right? So so the guys who created Decentraland, the guys who put money behind Decentraland, which is Barry Silbert from Grayscale, they're converting Grayscale BTC and eventually one day Grayscale Ethereum trusts. They're converting that into ETFs, and they just sent their proposal yesterday, which I retweeted. That's what I think is really pumping the thing, because if that ETF passes, oh my fucking god, because they're spot ETF, so that means for every fucking dollar that buys Bitcoin, the price goes up like this. It's correlated, complete correlated. So, because right now people can buy, because the beautiful thing is right now you can in your, like, I've got a lot of my buddies and friends who have like came from corporate jobs and stuff like that, that like, you know, they have a 401k. You know, I personally don't, but like they had a 401k. You can buy Grayscale BTC right now on a discount. Right now, it's like I think it's 10 to 20% off. You can literally buy Bitcoin 20% off straight up, just because something happened with the premium and it's negative and people were dumping it, so it's got negative sell pressure on it. So it's actually a cool way to get exposure to Ethereum and Bitcoin through your 401k. And they do hold the coins, which is pretty cool. So if you were to buy those, it's a way for you to maybe, like, you don't sell all your, not financial advice, you guys, but like 401k, right? You could put 10% of your 401k into BTC, 20% or 10% into Ethereum, and you have exposure on that side. And over a decade, I mean, literally that 20% would multiply probably 5-10 times over and stuff, and could triple up your 401k to the point where like it can get you really boosted up. And so you have sort of thing where, like, if you lose 20% of that 401k, it's, oh well, you can still make it up over time. But that 20% can multiply so many times over, especially with the Ethereum one, if it really goes bananas with like ETH 2.0 and it actually does the merge and it actually becomes like what we want it to become. You know, Ethereum could be like a $45,000, $55,000, $100,000 token. You could have about a $1.5 million Bitcoin price, and maybe by 2027, something like that, 2028. And at that point, you've more than funded your retirement accounts pretty much off of that, and the equity doesn't even fucking matter at all. And that's with only taking a 20% risk on the 401k or something. It's not that, like, I got some degenerate motherfuckers that like they all of it's in ETH and Bitcoin, which is, hey, totally fine. I mean, it's up to that fucking person, but that's sort of the stuff kind of going on with that. So if they did switch over to a spot ETF, since you already can buy it right now, that means everybody who has a 401k can start buying actual real Bitcoin in their, oh my god, dude, in their actual like portfolio, which is insane. But because it is a spot ETF, so there is a difference between Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the way Grayscale has it right now, which it's actually a very price positive. It's almost like a price positive Ponzi in a way, the way it works, versus when it becomes a spot ETF, which is different. That means if I sell Bitcoin from my 401k, I actually could dump the price.
Right,
That's
because Grayscale Bitcoin, if they buy Bitcoin, like if you then sell their shares, they don't actually sell Bitcoin, right?
correct. They only buy. So
Yeah.
the reason there's a premium up and down is because it's because they have a glut of BTC on the books that they have to sell. So, but when there's a spot ETF, you buy one BTC worth of the ETF. They have to actually go to the market and buy a BTC at that price. So they just go and buy it, and then when you sell it, they sell it. They just make a little spread in between for their profit, which is I'm totally okay with that. So it goes up and down like that. So what happens is when people in the 401k market starts buying BTC, it could just like shoot the price up. But the one beautiful thing with the way Grayscale did their funds right now is that all that Bitcoin, you know how the price is down 20% on the Grayscale fund, is that those coins aren't getting dumped on the market. The way that's structured, that Bitcoin can never be sold on the open market. They can only buy from the open market. So it was, no matter what, it's always a net positive. It's always a net positive for the Grayscale fund the way it is right now. It's just that's why I'd say it's pretty cool. But during times where they have a glut. They're not actively buying anymore. So the positive buying is gone right now from the market, because they still have to get the premium back to neutral, and then from there, when they start purchasing that shoots it up again. But it's still, I still like it took me a while to understand what Grayscale was, but it's actually a really cool model. Like, actually, Hex is actually doing a version of that itself for its ETF. So some of the money that was raised for the Pulse chain and stuff, a lot of people sacrificed Hex. That Hex is going to be turned into a Hex Grayscale fund out of Singapore and stuff. But it's not by Grayscale. I just want to call it a Grace so people understand what it is. So it's going to be the same sort of thing. So no matter what, that Hex is going to be staked and then purchased through shares, and it cannot be dumped on the market. So it'll never hurt the price. It'll only help the price. But it's a really cool system. So at some point, but the one negative with it is because it has a glut off the bat. They have to run through all that hex first, and then at some point one day they're out and they have to go buy from the market, which is price positive, which is kind of nice. Yeah.
Bro, not only have we hit the 2-hour mark, but
Yeah.
like it's like nearing midnight where I'm at, and I need to wake up at like 7 a.m. to get to work tomorrow.
All good,
So
bro.
it's genuinely been like an insanely awesome conversation.
No,
Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. Hey, man, where can people follow you, man?
Yeah, man. What? Oh wait, where can people?
Where can people follow you? Vetemor, where can people follow you out here in this world? Where can people subscribe?
I've got a Twitter, I've got a YouTube. If you just head over to my YouTube, it's like Vetemor. It's just Vetemor, and in the description of all my videos, you'll find my other like socials and stuff. I have a Twitch as well, which will be happening. Basically, if you want all the good Illuvium info, head over to my YouTube channel. I've got videos explaining everything. If there's anything you don't get, or you're like, this guy doesn't make sense, just like comment on those videos. At the moment, I'm responding to like literally every single comment. So like you will. So if there's anything you were confused about in this video that I said, like drop me a comment. I'll get back to you guys.
No, definitely. No. I really like Vetemor's I really like his YouTube and stuff. It's got so much info in there. Like, honestly, I find Vetemor, like, I'm not trying to brown nose you a little bit here, but I find Vetemor is actually probably the best YouTuber in the Illuvium space. Honestly, like, his information is really cool. He seems like a cool guy, and honestly, he's like damn near he's only quit his job and go full-time Illuvium. So Jesus Christ. So yeah, so I mean, hell yeah, man, hell yeah. So like I'm with him on that. But myself personally, I'm more of a generalist, so I jump around from things to things because I have multiple investments and stuff. So I do get pretty deep into projects, but I won't get Vetemor deep, honestly, because it's just he's living and breathing, Illuvium and stuff. But I'll be playing around in there and stuff. So I mean, pretty sure me and Vetemor are gonna do some streams in the future, especially as things are going 100%. On. 100% we're gonna do some stuff. So yeah, welcome to the Moon Gang, and I'd love to have you on. If you ever have the chance. I don't know if the time zones will work out for you because usually we do it like, let me see. Usually we do a show with my partner in crime, Charlie, from Cultivate Crypto. We usually do our show typically 3 hours from now on Sundays. So I don't know what time that would be for you. That would be pretty late at night, I think. It might be like your
on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, yeah. We have a show called Moon Gang and stuff. We do it every single week. We've done it for damn near almost 2 years now. And yeah, I would love to have you on one day just to talk more general stuff and stuff. My buddy Charlie, he's like the chart master. He's really, I'm the fundamentals guy. He's the chart guy. And then we just, take a lot of people through this crypto journey, making sure they don't get fucking wrecked. Help make sure people take profit. That's one thing too. I mean, I will like. Obviously, I do love Illuvium, and I really like. I think I'm going to make a lot of money off of Illuvium, and we all will. But I will sound the alarm. Like, hey, you guys, some of you guys are up like 10 times on your money. Like, take a little off the fucking take a little.
A little bit, yeah.
Put a little in your pocket, and then people. But a lot of YouTubers don't do that, and I get very irritated at that sometimes because it's like some of their guys are like, I'm up 40x on money, bro. Like put a little. Like I've talked to so many people where they're just eating noodles, just like literally like. Poverty, $1 million in the portfolio, eating like ramen noodles with like they got a fucking like a little bed on the floor. They got a air mattress on the floor, with the comforter on. You know what I'm trying to say? Like upgrade. You can upgrade a little bit. Nothing crazy, but like take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
But
100%, like you got to live a life that's still satisfying. Like obviously, it's good to sacrifice the present for the future. Like that's investment. And like crypto opens up your time horizon, but like don't take it to the extreme, especially like when you've made a really decent amount of money. Yeah. Like keep much invested, like think about the future and all that, but like enjoy the present moment as well, because you never know how long you've got, and take care of your own health. Otherwise, you won't even be here when the time comes that you really want to make use of it.
Yeah. I mean, shit, man. Since I've been off the course and stuff, I've been at the gym I haven't missed a day at the gym, other than one day where I passed. I literally just slept the whole day. I don't know what
Bro,
happened.
you shouldn't go to the gym every day though.
I know. I'm like I am the way I am. I mean, I got ADP or I got fucking dyslexia or something. I got it all, ADHD or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? But that's just the way I am. You know, I'm an everyday crypto guy, and that's how I am. Like some of the best shape I ever got into. Like, but I know how to pace it. Like I'll like you're not gonna do legs every fucking day. That's fucking crazy.
No.
That's fucking. But
I
like
mean, if you do different things all the time, like you can balance
yeah,
it out and work out every day for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm crazy. That's my personality. Like if I want something, I go. I jump into the deep end of the pool. That's how I do it. That's how I do it, and that's how I am. But I understand that about myself. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. I mean, look at you too. You're doing the same thing. I mean, you're like all in Illuvium, and you're like, man,
Oh yeah, no. When I get into something, I go hard. You know.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's sort of the mentality with stuff and everything like that. But some people are very structured and they can actually do it like with a balance and stuff. For myself, I feel like if I'm going to take it seriously, I need to take it seriously, basically, and I commit, basically. You know, but hey, man, it was really nice to talk to you, dude. I can't wait to talk to you again. Fuck, man. Wait, a year from now, we're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, I should have bought more. What was I doing?
Don't worry, man. You still got way more than me, so you're good.
Oh, no, come on, man. But don't, man, but we're all gonna win. We're all gonna win on this game and stuff and everything like that. And let's see what happens, man. I mean, I'm really excited for the land sale, and I cannot wait till when the game finally launches. You know, it's gonna be cool to actually stream a little bit of like, hey, I'm playing the game now and stuff to catch some. I mean, it'd be really cool to catch some Illuviums and some Illuvials and stuff in the game. And damn, dude, it's gonna be sick, dude. There's so much. Even like we forgot. I know we gotta end this because you gotta go. It's late, but like even there's so much to talk about with this game. Like even the Illuvials are deflationary.
Yeah.
Like some of the so like. Big tip right here. Like, if you catch some Illuviums, I'd keep a lot of your first Illuviums over time because I think those are going to be very valuable because they're like because if I remember right, it takes 9 to create the final evolution. If that's my math is right, but then there's like a certain amount you need like to get shinies, and then there's like dark hollows and fucking A, dude.
To be honest, I'll probably because obviously there's like 3 evolutions. I'll probably keep a bunch of like the first evolutions.
Yeah,
I'll probably never evolve something unless I have at least 4 of it, so that I can keep one at a lower evolution. Because if everyone just evolves everything up, the ones that are actually at a lower evolution will become like really rare because everyone just wanted to get the top one, right?
It's sort of like having like virgin axes in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's virgin axes.
Yeah, it's exactly like virgin axes.
Virgin axes, like you keep your V card, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, we'll end
it sad that I know what a virgin axie is. I feel like a virgin for knowing what it is.
Oh my god. Well, all right, you guys. Peace.